company need Oracle Consultancy services for Oracle eBusiness and Oracle Fusion Cloud? If yes, ICM Software House is a multinational ERP consultancy company dealing in end-to-end ERP solution implementations on Oracle technologies, including Oracle eBusiness and Oracle Fusion Cloud implementations, business intelligence, mobile application development, and integrations. We are a team of dedicated professionals providing on-site and offshore ERP consultancy services in the international market. ICM is helping clients digitally transform and streamline their business processes by integrating many departments using ERP solutions to have paperless environments, along with the best analytical solutions for decision makers through business intelligence, and by ensuring business data availability and approvals on mobile apps. ICM's head office is located in Pakistan, with branch offices in many countries around the world, including Saudi Arabia, the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Australia, and the United Arab Emirates. ICM provides Oracle ERP services, including solution-driven implementation based on best practices, 24/7 on-site and offshore support, business intelligence solutions, including data warehousing, mobile application development, corporate trainings, resource outsourcing on-site and offshore support, health checks, upgrading services, especially in Oracle. We offer comprehensive solutions to our clients for managing financial, human resources, procurement, supply chain, manufacturing, projects, property, asset maintenance, asset lifecycle management solutions, and more. We have a great deal of experience in healthcare, telecom, banking, real estate, construction, and the manufacturing business sectors. For more information, please visit our website or contact us via email, phone, or WhatsApp. We look forward to speaking with you soon.
Yes guys, welcome to a new lecture for Oracle eBusiness implementation. In the previous lectures, I explained you how you will configure your user for implementation. And before that, I just give you the basic idea introduction and I give you explanation how you will have your own instance. Now we'll proceed with the implementation. Now we will proceed with the real implementation. Now you have what I believe. Now you have the instance, you have the core introduction, and you have the user ready. Now you need to start your proper implementation. Now, if to start the implementation, you need to consider some things. First of all, you need to understand what is implementation methodology, what will be the implementation approach, what will be your business structure, what will be your implementation consideration, and what are the flex fields which you need to configure based on your module. Okay, so let's just try to understand what will be the implementation methodology. Actually, once you need to start your implementation, you need to find a way, and you need to find some documents or the deliverables or the phases. What are the phases you are going to choose to do the implementation? Like for example, there will be training session, there will be CRP session, there will be some deliverables, some documentations which you need to provide it to the user so that user or the business can judge your services. For that, Oracle provided some methodology which is called implementation methodology. For the implementation methodology, if we go in the past like 20 years before, we keep using implementation methodologies called aims. And then Oracle give another implementation methodology, like it was around 15 years before, ABF, aims for business flows. And then after that, Oracle introduced the new implementation methodology. This is called OUM. So if you need to do the implementation, if you want to start the implementation for Oracle e-business or Oracle Fusion application or any Oracle product implementation, or if you need to do any development project, if you are having a development project, so first of all you need to choose or adopt the implementation methodology. Implementation methodology is actually it's a software which is given by Oracle, which will be given to the partners. Partners will install this on their machine, and then in this Oracle is giving the instructions to the partners how they can proceed with the implementation. So there will be implementation phases, there will be like deliverables. So those deliverables and phases you need to adopt, and the methodology. So in this lecture we are not putting focus on the implementation methodology, but I'm just giving you as an highlighted idea that currently in the market the main implementation methodology being used is called Oracle Unified Methodology, which is OUM. So you can search on the Google or some YouTube videos, so that you will be having much more fair idea about the implementation methodology. First of all, you need to adopt your direction, which direction you want to go using the implementation methodology. Now the direction means that if you are working on Oracle project, either implementation project or the development project, so there are two different types of approaches out of which you need to choose one. There is one approach which is called requirement driven approach. In the requirement driven approach, you will start your project with the requirement gathering. You need to gather the requirement and you need to freeze the requirement. So this will be like sort of requirement gathering as well as requirement gathering approach. This is normally being used in the development projects, but if you are working on the implementation projects, so best suggested approach is called solution driven approach. But this is based on your agreement with your customer. Maybe some customer is doing the implementation, but he will put focus on the requirement driven approach. So anyhow, what I will suggest for the implementation for Oracle e-business is solution driven implementation methodology. In the solution driven implementation methodology will be based on the standards and the best practices. Okay, in this methodology normally what we do, we start having the high level idea about the customer and the customer business, and based on that we set up or we configure the complete solution, and we present this solution to the business user, so that business user will see that how much this solution is fitting their requirement. And then instead of getting the requirements in the CRP session, CRP means conference room pilot, where we will be having interaction and discussion with the business users, we freeze the gaps, we capture the gaps, and then we freeze the gaps. So this is the solution driven approach. And the requirement driven approach, we start with the requirement gathering, and based on that we build the solution. So first of all you need to choose the implementation methodology. What implementation methodology you are going to choose, which I explain you. Normally we choose Oracle Unified Methodology. Oracle Unified Methodology will give us the direction, that what direction we need to move. So we have two directions, requirement driven approach and the solution driven approach. Let's assume we decided to go for the solution driven approach. Now in the solution driven approach, once you have the solution driven approach, means you need to build the structure for the organization. Now you are ready to start doing the implementation for any company. So you need to understand the business. For understanding the business, or for the building the business, you need to understand two important things. One thing is called a business model structure. So normally you build the business model structure. So you build the business model structure. First of all, you will build it in the documentation, and then you get it signed off. And the normally business model structure, it's not changeable. Once you need to build the business model structure, so you need to consider current business requirement as well as upcoming future business requirement, that can be up to like 5 to 10 years. I'll explain you in more. Okay, and then there is something called business processes. So business processes normally is a process for some certain transaction. So business processes are changeable, it can be changed, so there is not big problem. So if you need to do the complete implementation for any organization, so you need to consider two things. One is called the business processes, and then second thing is called structure. Okay, now let's just discuss structure more. So if we are building the structure for any organization, so we'll have two different types of structures. One can be the data structure, which is actually mainly used to control the business or the data security. Like for example, if you are building a system if you are building a system, or if you are doing the implementation for a group of companies, in this group of companies you create a business group, and under this business group you can have multiple companies or multiple legal entities. Under each company you can have multiple operating units, and under each operating unit you can have the inventory organization. This will help you to build your data structure, and from this data structure you will control the security. Control the security mean from one company employee cannot see the another company employee data. Okay, like this, in a one you can say ERP instance, you can have data for many legal entities, and no one can see the data for other companies. So this can be done from the data structure. Okay, so while getting the requirement, while understanding the system, while understanding the business, first of all you need to consider the data structure, and then you need to consider the reporting structure. Reporting structure mean how the business wants to get the reporting. Okay, so once you understand the business, what are the business, what are the business groups, what are the legal entities, what are the operating units, what are the inventory organization, the customer need, this can be happen by sitting with the business user and getting the requirement, or you can have the template, you will give it to the client and they will fill it and give it to you. So this information you will collect from the customer, and then after that you need to understand what are the reporting requirements. For the reporting requirements, normally we configure flex fields. So flex fields here it is important to understand the flex field, because flex fields are the, you can say, core, basic, very important, little bit complicated concept which a lot of people confuse. Now, if we need to understand that we have reporting structure, for the reporting structure, we build flex fields. Now, the concept for the flex field is a bit complicated, and maybe it's difficult to understand for the newcomer. But you need to understand initially that you have two different types of flex field. One is called key flex field, and another is called descriptive flex field. Okay, so key flex field mean that this is a must for you to configure some modules, and descriptive flex field is to add some additional fields on some screens. Flex field, now you need to understand flex field. Flex field is a logical table. Flex field is a logical table which you will build for your implementation without doing any programming efforts. Okay, flex field is a logical table which you as an implementer will create without any programming efforts. Okay, so I will explain you more about the flex field. So flex mean flexible fields. Fields mean normally we say columns. So it's a sort of logical table which is having flexible fields, mean you can create multiple columns in the flex fields. Okay, so initially we'll put focus on the key flex field. As I told you, key flex field is a must to build the structure. Okay, now we have some important key flex field in the Oracle based on the modules. If you are working on Oracle Financials, if you are doing the implementation for Oracle Financial, accounting flex field configuration is a must. This will be your core foundation, your basic building block for your whole ERP. Okay, whole ERP, especially for the financials. Even if you are working on HRMS, even if you are working on the supply chain, accounting flex field is a must. Okay, so this you need to consider. So after the accounting flex field, normally Oracle Financial Implementation Consultant will be doing the creation of accounting flex field. If you are doing the fixed assets implementation, then for the fixed asset you need to create fixed asset category, asset location, and asset key flex fields also. And if you are doing the implementation for Oracle Human Resource Management module or Oracle HCM, then the more important, more common flex field you must need to configure is related to the job flex field, position, grade, compensation, competency, personal analysis and cost allocation. These are the important flex fields which we need to configure for Oracle HRMS. And if you are doing the implementation for Oracle supply chain, so most important flex field which you need to configure is the system items, item categories, item catalogs, and the locator flex field. So we will configure all these flex fields based on the relevant modules in upcoming lectures. Now we just need to understand a little bit more about the flex field. So as I explained you, this is a sample flex field example for you to explain, for you to understand what is the flex field and how is the flex field. Normally, like, just try to understand flex field. Flex field is a flexible table. Virtual table having flexible columns. Maybe based on the business reporting need, you will be having 1, 2, 3 segments in accounting flex field, or maybe you will have 4 segments, or you will be having 5 segments. 5 segment means 5 columns. This is, for example, we say, let's assume flex field is a logical table. For logical table, you know, if you create a table, for each table there are columns. Okay, for the logical table we have here segments, like this is one segment, this is another segment, this is segment, this is segment, this is segment. So we have 5 segments, 1 segment, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is logical segments or logical columns which you will create for your flex field. Okay, so first of all, flex field, I'm repeating again and again, so that if you are confused and you are not very good and strong confident, so you will be having much more idea and you will feel more comfortable. Okay, because I know flex field for a newcomer, it's a new concept and it's a bit difficult to understand. So here we see flex field. For the flex field, we have flexible columns which can be from like minimum 3 to up to 30 columns. Okay, 30 columns or 30 segments you have to create. Each segment may represent each column. Okay, so once you are doing the implementation, you need to configure the flex field, and for flex field we'll be having columns. With each column we will link value set, because in upcoming slides I'm going to explain, I'm going to show in the upcoming lecture. So now you will be having good concept, and then you will be doing the practices. After that, if you again listen this, so you will be having very fair idea. So each flex field is having segments, and with each segment we'll be having value set. Value set, we can say, is a validation on the data, or we can say it's a data type, like what type of data and what type of validation will be allowed for the user to record in this column. Okay, this value set we will link with the segment. We will create value sets and we will create flex field, and under the flex field we will create segments, and then for these value sets we will add the data which is called values. We will add the values. So like there will be code and there will be description. There will be code, there will be description. For each column we'll be having code and the description. So this will be your values under the value sets, and value sets will be linked with the your segments, and your segments will be linked with the your flex field. Okay, once you build this, so this will be called your structure. This will be called your flex field. This will be mainly used for the reporting purpose, because if you have more columns in your flex field, you will be having more choices to analyze the data. But if you have less columns, you will have less choices. So chart of account or the flex field or the structure need to be very well professionally planned, because if you add more columns, it will be load on the business users. If you add less columns, you might not be able to get proper reports based on the business needs. So it should be sophisticated, it should be meeting the customer requirements, and it should not be very long, very lengthy. For each column we'll have digits. For digits we'll have the descriptions. So once you have the data, once you build your flex field, under this flex field, once user is doing the transaction, he will choose the value from each segment and create a code combination. This is called code combination, and for this code combination will be used in the different transactions, and from these codes you will be having the descriptions. So this is high level, this is how the flex field are. And now let's move to the system to start creating our flex fields.